Why is the most difficult fat to lose in the body is lower abdominal fat. No matter how hard we try, it seems that we can't lose this bit of belly fat. To reduce it effectively, you have to watch this video. First, let's talk about the principle of fat formation. When food enters the human body, after a series of decomposition and digestion processes, it is finally converted into energy that the human body can absorb. If the intake exceeds the daily digestible level, the excess energy will be converted into triglycerides, which are stored in fat cells, which are gradually converted into fat. Over time, you will get fatter and fatter. Many people mistakenly believe that sweating is burning fat bottles, but in reality, sweating is just a way for the body to dissipate heat. It mainly removes water, not fat. So how is fat digested? Mainly through two ways: hunger and breathing. The first is the process by which the body actively uses and breaks down fat. When the energy intake is not enough to meet the body's needs, the body will prioritize the elimination of glucosar in the blood, then the glycogen stored in the liver. When glycogen is also depleted, the body will use the previously stored fat and break it down and convert it into energy for the body to use. Here's how eating less and hungry can help you lose fat. Breathing is the body's energy that needs to be replenished. In aerobics exercises or other high-intensity activities, to meet this need, the body burns fat to obtain in the process. A large amount of inhaled oxygen activates enzymes that break down lipids, convert fat into carbon dioxide and water, and then flush it out of the body. Studies show that for every 10 kilograms of fat loss, about 29 kilograms of oxygen needs to be inhaled to support the decomposition process. After these fats are broken down, they produce 28 kilograms of carbon dioxide and 11 kilograms of water. 80% of fat will be eliminated through carbon dioxide. The remaining 20% will be excreted through urine and sweat. So the more you breathe, the more fat is eliminated. The reason why lower abdominal fat cannot be reduced forever is because of two receptors on our fat cells: beta receptors and alpha receptors. In particular, the role of beta receptors is to promote lipid degradation, and the function of alpha receptors is to prevent lipid degradation. These two receptors are widely distributed in the human body, but in the lower abdomen, the rate of alpha receptors is much higher than that of beta receptors. This means that fat in the lower abdomen is harder to break down. Plus, the fat loss process is also broken down into sequential steps. Usually, the first place of reduction is the face, arms, and shoulders, then the thighs and buttocks, and the lower abdominal fat is usually the last place to disappear. There are also people who find it difficult to understand why, when losing weight, after losing shoulder weight, the weight is egg. Because after you reduce the intake of worries, the body, to maintain basic physiological functions, will reduce the basal metabolic rate to reduce energy consumption. There are studies that show that for every 10% weight loss, the body's basal metabolic rate will decrease by 25%. Therefore, just reducing the amount of normal worries will not maintain fat loss. On the contrary, it can also reduce the effect. So how should we handle it? One is to increase exercise. The other is to increase protein intake. Exercise can effectively increase muscle mass. The metabolic needs of muscles are much higher than those of fat, which means that increasing muscle mass can help you increase your metabolic rate, basic substances, thereby burning fat more efficiently. Protein helps promote satiety, avoiding excessive intake but relying on a decrease in metabolism. Make sure you only lose fat instead of precious muscle, now that you know how to lose fat effectively, right? If you ask, what is the fastest way to lose weight? It is definitely to starve. So what effect will it have on the body? Many people think that eating less can lose weight easily, but in fact, the hidden potential then contains a lot of health risks. If you also want to overcome hunger to achieve quick weight loss results, then I recommend watching this video before making a decision. When you start cutting back on food intake, your body will first consume glucose in your blood to provide energy, maintaining your daily functioning. Once you enter the state of complete eating, your body will begin to metabolize glycogen, stored and muscle glucose, to continue to provide you with energy. However, glycogen stores are very limited. It will be consumed in about 12 hours. At this time, the body, to provide further energy, has converted previously stored fat into energy. This process produces metabolites such as carbon dioxide and water. They will pass through our steam, sweat, and urine to excrete. Your body will now notice weight loss because while metabolizing fat, water, and glycogen in the body will also be lost. In other words, only a small amount of fat is actually consumed. If starvation continues, then relying solely on energy to metabolize fat is not enough to maintain the normal functioning of the body. At this time, the body will break down the proteins in the muscles, process amino acids, and then convert these amino acids into glucose to provide energy for the body. This means that hunger not only makes you thinner, but even sacrifices precious muscle. You may think that muscles are not important, but in fact, the role of muscles in the body goes far beyond your imagination. Not only can it greatly increase the basal metabolic rate, but it also helps maintain body balance. An important reason why the elderly are prone to falls is the lack of muscles. If there is enough muscle mass, then even if you fall, the muscles can effectively slow down the impact, protecting the bones from injury. This is why some people say, instead of saving money just by storing muscle, muscle is not just reflected in appearance, it is like a natural barrier for your body. Moreover, fasting for a long time, the body will automatically switch to energy-saving mode. To avoid overexploiting limited energy reserves, the body will reduce energy consumption by reducing the basal metabolic rate. This process of slowing down metabolism not only slows down the weight loss process, but can also cause the body to get tired easily, and problems such as lack of energy and muscle atrophy. When you decide to end hunger and return to a normal diet, the body has just experienced a state of hunger, so it will unconsciously accumulate more fat. To deal with the risk of hunger that may recur at this time, the excess you eat will quickly convert into fat, causing your heavy muscle to increase rapidly in a short time, even exceeding the initial weight. This is known as the Anise effect. In fact, it can be seen that losing weight by starving alone can help you lose weight, but this way is through sacrificing muscle and reducing metabolic rate. In the end, all you get is a body that seems thinner, but is actually very fragile. If you want to lose strong flax fat, the best way is through a proper diet combined with moderate exercise, especially aerobics and strength training. Since aerobics can burn excess fat effectively, strength training helps maintain and increase muscle mass, thereby maintaining a better metabolic rate. Only then can you slowly cause and ensure the concealment of your weight while your body is still healthy.